ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna, welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita study group. Thank you all for joining. Important because it's a very simple chapter and essentially tells us that we don't need all the external dikhava of becoming a bhakt. It tells us how do we internalize bhakti, right? So the first question that Arjun started with is, he said ki Krishna, there is a personal bhakt and there's an impersonal bhakt. Who do you think knows the best process for attaining you, right? A personalist devotee is one who engages all his energy in the service of the Supreme Lord, right? He's constantly absorbed in the Lord. He worships Shyam Sundar Krishna with everything. Kayena vacha manasena, okay, with everything. He worships the Supreme Lord. Whereas the impersonalist, he is also engaged in service of Krishna, but not directly. He is engaged in meditation. He is trying to find that impersonal Brahman. He is trying to realize the Atma inside of him, right? So he is trying to engage with something which is avyakta, which does not have a particular form, right? So he is sitting in dharana, dhyan and samadhi. That is his path of attaining the Supreme. So of these two people, those who worship the Lord directly by devotional service and those who engage themselves in meditation on Brahman, out of these two, who has the process of reaching the final goal? Okay, yoga vittamaha. So Arjun is asking whose position is better, and Krishna is responding, right? Krishna says that everyone who tries will most definitely reach me. Of that there is no doubt. Okay? Personalist will also reach me. Impersonalist will also reach me. Please have that clarity. Kabhi bhi life mein don't get that feeling कि what I am doing is superior to what somebody else is doing. Okay? All paths lead to Rome. Keep that in mind. Okay? So even Krishna says, personalist will reach me, impersonalist will reach me. The final result is the same. But one path is filled with difficulty and therefore not greatly recommended. The other path is not filled with difficulty. It's simpler, it is therefore superior. Okay? So Krishna says, I want you to know that it is very easy for a personalist bhakt to reach me because he can constantly relate with me. Okay? Whereas the impersonalist guy, klesho adhikataras tesham. There is too much klesh, too much trouble when he's trying to connect with someone with something that is not manifest. Right? So that path, that gati is full of trouble, full of dukkha. Because I am embodied, I find it easier to relate to somebody who has a particular form. Okay? And then Krishna goes ahead and explains how easy bhakti is. He says, look, if you're a bhakta, you have to do only one thing. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. Right? He says, you have to only give up all your karmas to me. You have to simply take my shelter. Right? Don't do anything else. Just do Ananya Bhakti Yoga. Right? Put your full dhyan on me. Worship me. And if you do that, then the verse that I want everybody to know, verse number 7. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So Lakshmi, you've learned the shlok? Please say it. Please recite the shlok.
Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavamina chiram partha maya veshita chetasam.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Because we have a personal form, we can believe in the personal form of the God, of the Lord. We can focus our mind and senses on Him, on Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. And when we do that, Krishna is making a promise. He is saying without delay. Highlight that. Na chirat. Immediately, I will personally deliver a person who is constantly thinking of me. I will pick him up from this ocean of material existence, from this mrityu samsara sagarat. Right? So Krishna personally takes the responsibility for all devotees who offer their heart to him. Okay? He says very quickly, I'll give you my mercy. I'll remove all the obstacles on the path. Alright? So Krishna has made it crystal clear that worship of the personal form is better than Brahmajnan. Are we clear so far? Alright. Now we look at section 2 of this chapter. It's a short chapter, only 20 verses. Okay? We've completed the first 7, which clarify that if we worship the Lord with a form, then it's way simpler for us. Okay? It's like your child wants to go from here to the US. Right? There are direct flights, and then there are flights with, good stopovers, and then there are flights with terrible stopovers. And then, of course, there is, the water route. What would you recommend to your child? Right? You'd recommend the easiest path. And therefore, Krishna is recommending the easiest path. Now, verses 8 to 12. Right? Krishna will explain to us how to worship him. Now that he said, कि भक्ति करो, personalist की तरह भक्ति करो, then he is telling us how easy it is to worship him. Okay? So today we are going to focus on this second section, the progressive stages of devotion. Alright? Please repeat after me, verse number 8. Mai eva mana adhatsva, mai buddhim niveshaya, nivasishyasi mai eva, ata urdhvam na samshayah.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt.
Wonderful. Okay? Very simple verse. Mai eva mana adhitsva. First thing I want you to do is fix your man, your mind, on me and me alone. After that, mai buddhim niveshaya. Engage all your intelligence in me. Krishna knows for sure that you're a very intelligent being. That is why you're on the quest of spirituality. If not, we wouldn't have been on this quest. Okay? This journey is most definitely for the intelligent. The people who are asking, who am I? Why am I here? Right? So Krishna says, I want you to do two things. Fix your mind on me and fix your intelligence on me. Priya, you have a question, dear? Okay. Now, what does it mean? Fix your mind on me. Okay, it means that suppose right now, right, this session, you're all present. But if your mind is wandering off, then everything that I'm saying, everything that we're discussing is falling on deaf ears. Correct? So, without the engagement of the mind, everything that we are discussing will not register. Similarly, when we go to the temple to take darshan of the Lord, if our mind is not present in that activity, then it's not very helpful. If we are chanting and our mind is not engaged, not very helpful. Right? So Krishna says, first condition, I want you to fix your mind on me. Right? These days, all of us know there is this concept of mindfulness. Right? Everybody's talking about mindful meditation. What does mindfulness means? It simply means being fully aware, living in the moment with full focus, full concentration. So essentially what Krishna is saying is, concentrate your mind on me and me alone. Remember me, mai eva mana adhatsva, मुझ पे और किसी पे नहीं, on that form of Shyam Sundar. And I have a beautiful deity or a photo frame or something that connects you with him. Right? Shyam Sundar with yellow pitambar kapde with that vanmala. You have to have a form that you can relate to. Right? Whoever is your deity of preference. Right? Like my children, they personally love the Bal Krishna. Right? They see, kya hai ye bada wala Krishna, Radha, ye humko bilkul nahi acha lagta. And we like that chota wala Krishna. Because that is what they were raised with. So any form that you connect with, right? Let your mind go there. When you're chanting, try and get that picture in your mind. When you go to the temple, don't close your eyes and pray. Open your eyes and take darshan of the Lord. आंखें तो तब बंद करो जब भगवान सामने दिख नहीं रहे हैं, ताकि you can focus on him. जब भगवान सामने है तब आंखें मत बंद करो. Right? Open your eyes and try and take in as much as you can. Look at all the little details of the Lord. Right? That way, every time we close our mind, when we are not in front of the deity form, we will be able to remember him even better. Make sense? Okay? So that is how we put our man into God. And then he says, surrender your intelligence to me. I like this very much. Because even in our day-to-day lives, right, we surrender our intelligence in so many places. Now suppose my throat is hurting, right? थोड़ी देर के लिए ना I might try कि घर में कुछ अडुल सा ले लिया, कुछ और कुछ तो ले लिया. Try and play with my throat. But if it doesn't get fixed, what do? I approach a doctor, right? I surrender my intelligence to the doctor, a proper qualified medical doctor. He examines, he prescribes medicines, and then I simply take those medicines according to his prescription. Right? Similarly, if we need some legal help, right, we surrender to a lawyer. We have no knowledge of the law ourselves. We surrender our intelligence and we do whatever the lawyer tells us. Right? If we are buying a property, we take real estate agents' ka help. If we go to the bank, we listen to what the banker is saying. Right? So many places in our real lives, in our material lives, we are surrendering our intelligence. In our material life, when we face situations which are beyond our intellect, we take guidance from a person who has superior intelligence. Correct? Then to imagine in spiritual life, how important it is for us to realize कि भी अपना intelligence तो इतना सा है. Right? Therefore, let us surrender our intelligence to Guru, to Sadhu, to Shastra. Right? And let us learn from them. We have all kinds of wrong ideas, right? We identify so much with the body. Who are you? I'm Varsha Shinde. I'm daughter of so-and-so. I'm wife of so-and-so. I'm mother of so-and-so. I live here. I studied there. Blah, blah, blah. Right? I never say I'm an eternal soul. There was a very nice WhatsApp which was going around saying, if you're not allowed to say your name and your profession, without saying your name and your profession, tell me who you are. Right? Think about it. Without your name and your profession, tell me who you are. Right? Think about these things very deeply. I am an eternal soul. I think of myself as the perishable body. And then of course everywhere around us, we see that nothing is permanent. Yesterday's leader, today not in power. Yesterday ka Raja, today ka Rank. Somebody that we've just met died in an accident a few hours later. We've all had these experiences. We constantly see that nothing is permanent. And yet lage rehte is daud mein. All objects of the world are perishable. And yet for some reason, we think that they will always remain with us. Look at the Los Angeles fires, right? Look at the mansions that are being burnt down as we speak. Paris Hilton ka mansion in LA gets burnt down. And we talk of permanence in life. We're busy accumulating things day and night, thinking, yaar, ye to hai na, this will help me in times of need. Right? So we have to actually introspect. Normally when you're in spirituality, people tell you not to read the newspapers and all too much. I say too much to theek hai, lekin thoda bahut to padhna chahiye. We need to be aware because, we've taken a body and we're in this world. And every experience that we read about actually gives us more insight. So we need to be aware. All the bodily pleasures that we run after, they only result in misery in the long run. And still, we chase these bodily pleasures thinking, bas happiness is just 2 steps away. Therefore, we don't have to go through all misery in our own lives. Read the newspaper. समझ में आ जाएगा किसका क्या चल रहा है. Right? If you're from Pune, 2-3 days back, guy working in WNS picks up a chakku, murders his colleague. For what? For 4-5 lakh rupees. Look at what we're doing to our lives. Look at what we are giving importance to. Right? So we need to step back and think about truly what is important in life. Right? Is killing a person going to get back your 4-5 lakh rupees? No. Is that 4-5 lakh rupees so important that you're willing to sacrifice whatever compassion you have inside of you? No. Right? So if we run our lives as per our intelligence, then we're heading for doom. We will definitely not make much progress. If we want to achieve spiritual success, we must surrender our intellect to Guru, to Sadhu, to Shastra. And here Krishna says, to me. Right? Krishna is saying, just fix your intelligence on me. Surrendering intelligence to Krishna means following the principles that he has been telling us. Following whatever is said in these 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita encompasses everything. Right? So in this verse, the first line Krishna is telling us, fix your mind on me. Second line he says, engage your intelligence in me. And if you do that, then look at the third line. Nivasishyasi mai eva. तुम्हारा निवास कहाँ होगा? मेरे पास. तुम्हारा निवास मुझ में होगा. Nivasishyasi mai eva. If your mind is in me, if your intelligence is in me, then you will forever live in me. And he ends by saying, Ata urdhvam na samshayah. इस बात का तुमको बिल्कुल संशय नहीं होना चाहिए. I guarantee you, I promise you. This is Krishna's blessing, his vardhan. He says, I will definitely take care of you. Don't have the slightest doubt. right? We have to simply know if Krishna's Naam is dancing on our tongue, then Krishna himself is dancing in Golok Dham. And that is where he will take us back. Clear? Alright. Verse number 9. Please repeat after me. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptun dhananjaya.
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
So in verse 8, what did Krishna say? Fix your mind on me, fix your intelligence on me. But he knows how hard it is for people like us. Right? And so, kind as he is, he gives us many alternatives. So verses 9 to 12 are all alternatives. What we need to do is try to find that alternative which works for us. Okay? So, dhyan se sunna. First alternative was verse number 8 where he says, fix your mind on me, fix your intelligence on me. Now he says, Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram. Agar shakya nahi hai, agar it is not possible for you to fix your chitta on me. Chitta is your mind, right? Your intelligence. If you find that hard to do, then abhyasa yogena. What should you do? Abhyas karo. Practice makes you perfect. Repeatedly withdraw your mind when it goes here and there and fix your mind on me. That is abhyas. So what gurus tell us to do? Mala japo, है ना? 4 regulative principles follow करो, मंदिर जाओ, एकादशी का व्रत follow करो. All these are prescriptions. Why? Because directly mind and intelligence is not getting focused on those lotus feet. So, Guru gives us directives on how to do it. Don't we chart out like a little timetable for our children when they're studying for their exams? Right? कि भाई इतने बजे है ना उठ जाना, फिर नाश्ता कर लेना, थोड़ा सा एक्सरसाइज कर लेना, study for 2 hours, then take a little nap, then okay, play time for half an hour, then again come back, study for 2 hours. We plan this, right? Exactly like that, what happens is abhyas is what gurus give us. Guru knows कि unless I give this person something solid, a framework, this person is going to bhatko idhar and there. Right? So, they give us a practice which is called sadhana bhakti, where we have to follow the different prescribed rules and regulations, and by following these rules and regulations, we will feel attachment to Krishna. Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. O Dhananjay, O Arjun, तुमको इच्छा होगी कि you want to come back to me. When you follow sincerely what the Guru tells you to do, then over a period of time, you will develop the desire to go back to him. Right? So please understand, we are in this material world, so it is natural for us to have hajar distractions around us all the time. And therefore, it is very hard for us to fix our mind and our intelligence on God. Therefore, regular sadhana. Rise early in the morning, take a bath, go to the temple, offer prayers, chant the Maha Mantra, offer flowers to the deity, cook food and offer it to the deity. Right? Accept prasad. Pehle bhog dikhao, fir prasad. When you cook food, when you offer it to God, it's called bhog. Bhagwan ko jab bhog lag jata hai, then what is left is prasad. So we take prasad. Right? Then we say, well, read the Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavatam, read Ramayan, read Mahabharat. Why are all these prescriptions given? Because when we do all of this, we will slowly and steadily fall in love with God. And then we will start getting the desire to go back home. Right? Like yesterday, somebody sent me videos of Prayagraj. मेरे मन में कभी नहीं आता, कि I want to go here and I want to go there. I'm very happy sitting at home reading my stuff. I'm very happy in my little cave. Yesterday I saw those videos and yesterday I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to Prayagraj. right? So when we see things, when we're introduced to the wonder of things around us, then वो इच्छा जो है वो जागृत होती है, right? So to fix our mind on God, the first step is abhyas. God says, abhyas karo, practice to remember Him. Practice will make you perfect. This is called abhyas yoga. You unite with God by repeated practice. And every time the mind wanders towards other objects, Netflix, faltu ka shopping, faltu ka intellectual debates, whatever, right? Mind is like a river. That river, unfortunately, keeps flowing towards filthy worldly pleasures right now. Instead, we want it to flow towards Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. It's such a beautiful word. It's actually a book written by Rupa Goswami. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Sindhu, an ocean which is full of Amrit of Bhakti. Bhakti ka ras jisme hai. So, ocean of love for Krishna. Right? In all of us, this love is definitely there. Lekin abhi ke liye that love is sleeping. So what abhyas does is it wakes up that love. Usko uthata hai, usko jagata hai. Right? And that is the whole process. That is why when a guru initiates a disciple, the disciple has to take vows in front of the guru. I promise I will chant my 16 rounds. I promise I will follow the regulative principles. I promise I will listen to at least one lecture a day. I promise I will read scriptures. Right? Every day they do this so that you're constantly, consciously active in bhakti. So they make bhakti a lifestyle. You know? Now, in spite of that, there are people like me. Nahi hota. I'm horrible in abhyasa yoga. So mercifully, Krishna says, okay, Varsha, there is something else for you. And that is verse number 10. Alright? Please repeat. अभ्यासेप्य समर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थम अपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage.
Lovely. Abhyasepya asamarthosi. If you don't have the samarthya, right, the capacity of abhyas yoga, of practicing regular sadhana, then, right, what is Krishna saying? Mat karma paramo bhava. ऐसा करो, मेरे लिए ना कुछ काम कर लो, है ना? Try to do some work for me. So he's saying, if you don't have the capability of following the rules and regulations of Abhyas Yoga, of regular sadhana bhakti, it's called Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, where a guru has given you the structure that you need to follow. And if you are not capable of doing that, then mat karma paramo bhava. Do some karma for me. Mat artham api karmani. Because when you do karma for me, when you work for me, kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. You will get siddhi. You will definitely achieve perfection. Okay? Krishna says, I know that there are many good people like Varsha, right? They're not able to wake up very early. They're not able to chant their 16 rounds. They're not able to give up a lot of things in life, right? They're not able to regularly study, regularly chant, regularly listen to lectures. अब इन बेचारों के लिए क्या किया जाए? These are nice people. They simply can't follow the regulative principles to the T. So what can they do? Very simple. There is a whole lot of spiritual activity that is being done in the world. You know? So many books are being written, so many classes are being conducted, so much prasad is being distributed. So many summer camps, winter camps, shloka camps are being held for kids. So many festivals are being celebrated, right? People walk in the dindi, people go to different pilgrimage spaces, different yatras. See if you can help in that. All of this requires help, right? Like if somebody wants to construct a temple, they need hajaro people donating towards that temple, right? If a preacher wants to conduct a lecture, right, they need some slides to be made. They need someone who's sending out the messages, right? They want someone to distribute books, right? When there are satsangs, we need a lot of people who cook. नहीं तो खाना कहाँ से आएगा? And अगर खाना होता है, then people attending the satsang also without worry actually pay better attention to the satsang, right? उनको ये टेंशन नहीं है कि घर जाना है, जल्दी जाना है, खाना वाना पकाना है. So even if cooking for a satsang is actually working for Krishna, right? Because you're enabling so many people to actually sit down and listen to his word. We can offer our house as a venue, right? We can learn some verses and teach them to others, right? So many of these brahmacharis are writing books. We can offer to proofread books if our language is good, right? So many times there are events that are happening. We can sponsor these events. All of this is karma for God. It is all pure spiritual activity, right? The definition of spiritual activity means voluntarily working for the satisfaction of God, right? Voluntarily finding out what is going to get me closer to Krishna and doing that. So what is the first option that Krishna wants us to do? Please unmute and answer.
Fix the mind and intelligence on him.
Perfect. Fix the mind and the intelligence on him. What is the second one? अगर directly तुम्हारा mind and intelligence नहीं हो रहा है तो क्या करो?
Abhyas, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Sadhana bhakti. Okay? Go take shelter of a guru. Find out what your sadhana should be and do that very, very sincerely, because that will get you to me without a doubt. Right? Their guru will take responsibility of connecting me to Krishna. Now, अगर वो strict sadhana bhakti नहीं हो रही है, and here is a very strict line. If we think that we want to take shelter of a guru, then we also have to promise that whatever vows we take, right, we will follow them. Remember, when we take shelter of a guru and we don't keep our vows, two things happen. We will suffer, right, because we are not keeping our promise, and two, our guru has taken our responsibility. So our guru suffers that karma. Right? So please always keep in mind, do not take a vow if you cannot follow it. If you think you're not ready for it, then be very, very careful, because not only are you hurting yourself, you're hurting that guru also. Right? So the second option was do Abhyasa Yoga. Take shelter, follow Abhyasa Yoga, you will most definitely come to me. अगर वो possible नहीं है, then what is the third option that Krishna has given?
Cooking for satsang, then distributing books, and then working for Krishna.
Very good, है ना? Whatever you like, you work, you physically engage yourself. So many people go to the temple to cook Mahabhog. There are people who cook for the people visiting the temple, right? They distribute prasad to everybody. So many people actually cook that food which is being offered to the deities in the temple, right? They need people to go clean the utensils there. They need people to go clean the kitchen once a week, right? Properly from top to bottom. You should see how clean those kitchens are. I mean, apna ghar ka kitchen to nothing compared to those temple kitchens, where God's food is being cooked. It is so spick and span, beautiful, right? So they constantly need seva. Bhagwan ke jo haar lagte hain, right? Somebody has to make those garlands, right? Somebody has to stitch those clothes for God. So everything requires seva. So Krishna says, go do seva wherever, right? If a temple needs to be built, go offer. If you're an architect, say, can I help? है ना? So go and help in different work that is being done for me. Work for me. And अगर ये भी नहीं होता है, Krishna says, no problem, one more option. Verse number 11. अथैतद् अप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम् ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्.
However, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Wonderful. First option, fix your mind and intelligence on me. Not possible, so practice strict sadhana bhakti. Follow all rules and regulations. Not possible, do some work in spreading my naam, my leela, my kirtan. Now he says, I understand you may not be able to do even this. Family members may not, be in favor. Financial problems honge, time ka problem hoga, social challenges honge, whatever. So he says, I'm giving you one more option. Karma fal ka tyag. All of us do karma in our life, right? So he says, uska tyag karo. Give up the results of your work. Matlab kya? I do karma, I work towards my business, I make some money. So let me sacrifice some money, right? Let me give to a good cause. Let me give to an orphanage, an old age home, a hospital, an educational institution. Let me do some national service, whatever. Lok seva, right? And when you give, Shri Krishnarpanamastu, Hari Om Tat Sat. What these words essentially mean is that whatever I have offered to the Lord. I don't want to get this, I am the giver. I don't want this ego. Right? So, Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanava Prakriti Svabhava Karomi Yattat Sakalam Parasme Narayanayati Samarpayami. Whatever I do with body, with my vacha, with my mind, my senses, with the knowledge that I have, with my svabhav, with my prakriti, I want to submit that to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Right? So, we have to slowly start building an attitude of whatever I do for you. So, I can either offer directly my karma to God, and if that is not possible, then I can offer my karma fal to God. Very simple. No, I have a 9-to-5 job. So I can't go and, do seva in the temple. So what do? What I earn from that 9-to-5 job, at least a portion of that I can go give to the temple. Right? So, we think that inclusivity is a new concept. Right? We think it's so cool, it's so new. But think of how inclusive Krishna is. He doesn't want to leave anybody behind. He says, Yena kena prakarena. I want all of you to come back home. Recently Nitai Sevani Mataji, right, Her Grace Nitai Sevani Mataji, she had come to Pune and she was taking a class and she was saying Krishna is like this very, very compassionate principal in school. A child has got 33 marks, 35 marks is the passing, right? So the principal calls and tells the teacher, अरे यार क्या कर रहे हो तुम, 2 mark के लिए तुम इसको क्यों fail कर रहे हो, इसको grace marks दे दो. Teacher saying no. We've already been very generous in our marking. Principal says, ठीक है, फिर इसका attendance देख के उसको marks दे दो. Teacher says, नहीं, इसका attendance भी अच्छा नहीं है, बड़ा poor सा attendance है. Principal says, okay, journal खोल के देख लो उसका, journal में अच्छा काम किया होगा. Teacher says, नहीं, his journal is also not complete. Krishna says, ठीक है, neat handwriting के लिए तो marks दे दो. Says, handwriting is also terrible. Yeah? So then the principal looks at him and says, अच्छा ठीक है, काम करो ना, उसका smile जो है बड़ा प्यारा सा है, उसके लिए तो उसको marks दे के pass कर दो. Right? Teacher says, okay, works, adorable smile that boy has, let's give him the +2, let's pass him. That is exactly what Krishna is doing for us. He loves us so much, he's giving us so many options. Right? But please try to understand this, right? While we think the first option is mind and intelligence to me, second option is 4 नियमों का पालन, 16 माल का जप, strict sadhana, then third option work for me, fourth option karma fal मुझे sanction करो. This is actually not 4 options. Okay, we'll do the 12th verse and then we'll get to this. Let's do the 12th verse, the last verse of this section. Okay, in this verse Krishna tells us how wonderful it is to do sarva karma phalat tyagam. Right? What is it that we get when we actually offer our karma phal. Please repeat. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasaj jnanad dhyanam visheshyate dhyanat karma phalatyagas tyagat shantir anantaram.
If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, for by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind.
Very nice. Right? Please understand how nicely this verse is telling us कि now he's got us to the level of कर्म का फल त्याग करो. अगर कर्म का फल नहीं त्याग कर सकते, राइट, तो गो सिट डाउन इन ध्यान, सिट एंड डू मेडिटेशन, राइट. मेडिटेशन नहीं होता है तो गो गेट सम नॉलेज, ज्ञान, सिट एंड जस्ट रीड एंड फाइंड आउट मोर एंड मोर. But the best thing you can do is start by giving up some karma phal, because when you give your karma phal to somebody else, to God or any of his activities, then what you get is त्याग में तुमको शांति मिलती है. The reason we need to sacrifice is because when we sacrifice, we experience peace of mind. And that is what we're all running after. Right? See, this is also a very nice summary. So many of us do mechanical practice, right? Mindless rituals. If we purchase a new house, we purchase a new car, right? We call the pandit and we say, chalo puja karte hain. And when the pandit is doing that puja, we sit in the other room and we're all chatting. Or at least ठीक है, जो पूजा कर रहे हैं वो तो बैठते हैं. All the guests that you invite are just sitting there and it's like a large kitty party, right? चाय पे चर्चे. So devotion is nothing more than performing the empty ritual, right? We see so many people who chant while the TV is on, who chant while they're talking to other people. What is happening? It's all becoming a mechanical process. सब कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी करता हूँ. My parents did it, so I will do it. So many festivals we now celebrate, which are nothing as per Shastra, right? They're all very concocted versions. But performing rituals mechanically is also not a bad thing. Something is better than nothing. At least externally we are engaging in devotion. But Krishna says, yaar, ye mechanical practice se to acha hai ki you go and get some spiritual knowledge. At least understand why I am doing what I am doing. Right? At least sit down properly and practice Jnana Yoga. What am I doing? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. I want to know, I want to understand what is the goal of my life. Why this whole self-realization process, right? I don't want that to become a material progress. I want it to lead me to Brahman realization, right? So Krishna says, yes, at least sit down in Brahma Jigyasa. But that is a very difficult path, right? He's already told us, Klesho adhikataras tesham. But he says, itna to fir kar hi lo fir, right? If you find that hard, sit down in Dhyana Yoga. Focus on the Paramatma inside. You will reach me. Right? When you sit down for meditation, dheere dheere you're trying to find your Atma. And you'll find that your Atma is a part of Paramatma. And then dheere dheere what will happen? You don't want any sakam karma. You don't want swargalok. You don't want moksha. You want bhakti. You want shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. Right? So what we start doing is निष्काम कर्म. मैं कर्म करूंगी लेकिन I don't want उसका फल. Right? So Krishna is telling us कि तुम ध्यान कर सकते हो, ज्ञान के पीछे भाग सकते हो, लेकिन easier than that is सर्व कर्म फल त्यागम. When you give up your karma ka phal, then what happens is you will easily get to the point of surrendering unto Krishna. Because that giving up of ownership, of ego, of proprietorship actually leads us to peace. If we are not attached to the fruits of our actions, then we become very peaceful. If we are attached, then oh my God, आज ज़्यादा पैसा मिला, आज कम पैसा मिला, आज loss हुआ, आज profit हुआ. We go through all those dualities and we are constantly disturbed. But when we learn to give, then we experience Shanti. Right? So Krishna is saying कि भाई समर्पण कर लो, अनंत शांति मिलेगी. If you surrender, you will get eternal peace. Okay? Because when we start sacrificing, then Krishna becomes responsible. It is his responsibility. वो हमको पार लगाएंगे. Right? So now please understand these stages. Okay? When Krishna says, ये तो कर लो, ये तो कर लो, ये तो कर लो. Ultimate aim is the first one. Mind and intelligence should be dovetailed to Krishna. That is our aim. Okay? So we mustn't think that अच्छा our aim is है ना थोड़ा सा है ना जन्माष्टमी आई है 500 रुपया दे दिया. That is not our aim, but that is our first step of going towards him. Okay, so please don't misunderstand कि हाँ ठीक है ना यार, मैंने तो है ना घर में एक जूना कुछ तो पड़ा था, I went and gave it to the temple, can you use it? So मैंने कर्म का फल त्याग किया. No, but that is our first step because it starts softening our hearts. It makes us more compassionate. Once we learn to give, it's probably one of the best qualities that we can develop. Right? Giving up this sense of this is my money. This is money that I have and I'd like to share. Right? Once we come there, then we start taking further steps ahead. So please remember, people who take Diksha, when you come to that stage, it means that you've already crossed the stage of Karma Phal Tyag, Karma Bhagwan ke liye karna. Then I've come to the stage of Abhyasa Yoga. And from Abhyasa Yoga, I will move to giving my man and my buddhi to God. So my first step is when I start contributing. Okay, from whatever I have earned. My second stage is when I start contributing my efforts, when I directly start working for the Supreme Lord. From there, I want to move to having some kind of sadhana in my life. I will do this. I will wake up at this time. I will complete this. Only then I will get into my material life. That is my third stage. And when I cross that, then I can be sure that constantly, whatever I do in this material world, my mind will be fixed on Krishna, my intelligence will be fixed on Krishna. Again, please realize it does not mean that you give up your complete activities and sit in the temple praying 24 hours a day. No. It's like when you're out, right, in the mall, you're shopping and you look at a pretty top and you see, you know what, this would look very pretty on my daughter. Your mind is on your daughter, right? It's just that do whatever you're doing. But piche mein keep thinking, Krishna would want me to be like this. Krishna would want me to behave like this. So many things we do, right? My children will be proud if I did this. My parents would be proud if I did this. Our focus has to change to Krishna will be proud if I do this. Right? This is the version of myself that I want to present back to Krishna. And we don't do that for Krishna. When we do bhakti, we actually benefit ourselves. In that Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the book that I told you about, there's a beautiful verse about what we get when we do bhakti. Okay, I'm going to tell you that verse and I'd like you to think about it. We get 6 benefits when we get on the path of bhakti. First, Kleshagni. Klesh jo hai, is life mein, there are a lot of miseries, right? Lot of troubles that come. This one disappears. So we're able to destroy, bhakti is able to destroy our suffering. Does that mean that once I get into bhakti, there will be no sufferings around me? No. Life will continue the way it has. But I choose if that event is going to put me in depression, is going to make me, miserable, or I will remain stoic. When I'm in bhakti, I become more stoic. So, klesh jo hai, usko agni lag jati hai. वो जल जाता है. My sufferings are destroyed. शुभदा, सब कुछ मेरे अराउंड जो है वो शुभ शुभ होने लगता है. I experience a lot of auspiciousness. When I walk the path of bhakti, I start realizing how blessed I am, how much I have been given in this life, how everything that happens is leading me closer to my God. So the first is Klesh Agni, second is Shubhada. Third, when I get on the path of bhakti, moksha laghuta krita. I no longer even aspire for moksha. I don't care कि मुझे मोक्ष मिलता है कि नहीं. I just want to be engaged in association of devotees and the Lord. Now I don't care about heavenly planets. I don't care about going back to, a Vaikuntha Lok and living there for 1,000 years, experiencing all kinds of opulence. No. I want to constantly be surrendered in service of the Lord. Okay? So, Kleshagni, Shubhada, Moksha Labhutakrit, Sudurlabha. Most important to understand is bhakti is something that very, very few people get in their life. Sudurlabha. इसको मिलना बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है. So if you're experiencing bhakti, then you're one of a kind. Right? Because what bhakti gives us is Sandrananda Visheshatma. Sandrananda means concentrated. Right? The bliss that we experience, the happiness, the joy that we experience is so concentrated. It's so, it's just so much. I can't find a better word for it. Sandrananda. The kind of bliss that you experience in bhakti, you cannot experience through anything else in life. And the amazing thing of bhakti is it gets you attracted to Krishna. Shri Krishna Akarshani Shasa. It gets you attracted to Krishna. Krishna gets attracted by anybody who's doing bhakti. Right? So I'll tell you this verse. If you want to find it, it is in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.17. Mark it, read it whenever you have the time. Kleshagni Shubhada Moksha Laghuta Krit Sudurlabha Sandrananda Visheshatma Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasam. Okay, beautiful 6 characteristics of bhakti, and I pray that we all constantly experience this Sandrananda, this concentrated bliss of bhakti. Granthar Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Thank you all for joining. In the next week, we will complete the last 8 chapters, which are most important. Just what it is that we need to do to be better versions of ourselves. It is the Bhakta Ashtakam. It is God singing glories of a Bhakt. So please don't miss next week. Alright? What it is that we can do. So God is saying, okay, I want Priya to come back to me. I want Subbalakshmi to come back to me. Right? So we'll see those qualities. Thank you so much, Granthar Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Thank you all for joining.